Hello everybody, so today I'm going to be doing a book review on 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. I've just finished this book a few days ago and my mind is still blown. This book is so good and reading this is like riding a roller coaster of emotions. The writings and emotions expressed in this novel were so true and raw that it really got to me and took me right into the story as well as the characters' shoes. If you do not know what 13 Reasons Why is about, it's about a teenage girl named Hannah Baker who suicided 2 weeks ago by drinking a handful of pills. Before she decided to end her life, she left a shoebox containing 7 cassette tapes with 13 sides explaining the reasons why she ended her life. Each tape is devoted to each person who had known her, who were involved and responsible for her death. So before she died, she mailed the tapes to the first person on it, and that person has to listen to all of her tapes and stories and mail it to the next one and so on. She didn't do it out of revenge or hatred. She did it to make sure that people understand her stories, to know that this is the reason why she died, for people to stop judging her and assuming things about her even after her death. So, Clay Jensen, he's the main character of this novel and is also one of the people on the tapes. Clay couldn't understand why he was on the tape because he loved and cared for Hannah. He still does. And so he didn't understand what he could have done to harm her life. Throughout the novel, it was very sad to read how Clay struggles within himself from not noticing, not saving Hannah fast enough when the signs were all there, the signs of her wanting to suicide. He blamed himself for not being able to reach to Hannah and for not having the courage to tell her that he loved her, leaving her to believe that no one cared for her even when she died. I really like Hannah's character in the story because through her tapes, she was forgiving and loving. She constantly gave people second chances and even third ones, only to be betrayed. Hannah Baker was a simple girl. She loved simple things in life such as sweets, poetry, and romance, and all three of those things were used as weaknesses by the people around her to ruin her life. I think the theme of the story is that we need to try to understand the whole story before we try to judge someone else, before we assume things, because as the world is developing and becoming more connected, our lives are becoming more complicated too. And not everyone has the same tolerance as we do, so we must accept that fact and learn to always understand their struggles and conditions before we decide to judge them and make assumptions about them. One quote that I really like from the novel that supports this theme is that, I guess that's the point of it all. No one knows for certain how much impact they have on the lives of other people. Oftentimes, we have no clue, yet we push it just the same. It's basically saying that we don't know how much impact we can have on other people, yet we assume their tolerance and we just keep on throwing out our judgments and everything else, and we accidentally ruin their lives. So, as I was reading this, there were so many quotes such as that one I just told you, or many events that happened, and I couldn't even control my emotions, and everything was just a blur because it relates so much to me at a shocking level, really. Although I'm not one of the things that I'm not going through what the characters in these novels are. It feels as if I'm one of them. I can understand them so much. It really scares me while reading this book because all of the characters here are around my age and in high school too. They're struggling to go through high school, which is what I'm also going through. And reading this freaks me out because anything that happened in this novel may actually happen to me and the people around me in real life. Because these issues are just small issues. They're not grand issues that does not happen for real. They're small issues that happen in everyone's everyday life and that builds up and adds up to become something big that could ruin one person's life. It's really sad for real. So after reading this book, I decided to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Not a 5 because I didn't give it a 4.5, not because I hated it. This is actually one of the best books I've ever read. It's one of the most meaningful ones. But I decided to give it 4.5 because I thought it could have been better by the author also showing the point of views and perspective and the stories of the other characters as well, not just Clay and Hannah. It would have been better for us to understand their their whole stories and understand why they did what they did to Hannah Baker. Other than that, this book really deserved a 5, and I highly recommend it to any of you going through high school or in your teenage years struggling through finding yourself or knowing your identity, or struggling with your society or within yourself too. It's also good for adults because it's good for you guys, adults, to understand what teenagers are going through and everything else. Basically, it's if you want to relax or learn a great lesson, because I know I did. My whole point of view did change after reading this book. If you want to relax or learn a lesson, then reading this book is the best choice. Thank you.